Hi everybody. I know it's been a while. Oh my god, it's been so long. And those who still watch my videos and are interested in what I have going on, thank you so much for holding on, bearing with me, and supporting my channel. I almost gave up because I wasn't getting any views, but God has been nudging me. Well, I believe in God, source, and which brings me to why I am bringing you this reading. This message is directly from source. I believe that he or her, both, they they want to deliver a message, and this message is about how are you going to be leveling up, and how are they going to be here to help you. And oh my God, I already blessed and shuffled the cards, and the messages I received during that, they're so powerful, and I'm excited. Yeah, I've been on a hiatus because I've been moving, and and I really love the new place that I have, even though it has its downs. But I'm gonna focus on the ups and just do what I have to do until God blesses me with something else even bigger and better. Yeah, so back to source, our higher power. We had to come from somewhere, depending on what religion or tradition you are believing in or praying to. This message is for you. You're here, and I hope that you enjoy it. And whether you believe in the Bible, where we were made from Adam's rib, but I have a different theory on that, because in the Bible it says we made him out the image of us. So there are already people or something, some type of creation out there to reflect what Adam was made from, and then Eve was made from his rib. So I think there's some type of loss in translation there as well, because how are we even being created now? We're not created from clay, we're not created from ribs of other men, we're actually coming from the mother. So I believe the mother is here with us, and thank you so much. Which brings me to our cameo here. I have these 4 crystals which are going to depict the piles that we have to choose from, but we have a cameo here. I like to call this my mother Mary. Marie, that's another story too, because Marie was considered, well, I look at Marie as Mother Mary, and she was dark skinned. And Jesus, or Yeshua, Emmanuel, whoever you believe in, Buddha, he's even been coming to me as well. So I'm not religious. I believe in the Bible. I use that as my source of the word, but I rely on the universe and our source, our creator, to deliver messages to me. And he has been showing me that same story is in every religion. We have the Yoruba religion, we have the Catholic religion, who prays to Mother Mary. And Mother Mary is very important. It's interesting that she doesn't get as much glory that we should give it to, especially if we're mothers, and we should give her, especially if we're mothers. And I call it the Mother Mary oil because it has this little emblem on here, and it's Mother Mary, or Mari, and Yeshua. I call him Yeshua, but you may know him as Jesus. And I'm going to be using some of this oil to bless myself, to get more clearer messages, in hopes to set the intention to get more clear messages. I have also the Sphinx making a cameo. I call it the Sphinxy. And Sphinxes, or the Sphinx, became very significant to me very recently, because I believe it came to me in a lucid dream. And if you don't know what lucid dreams are, they're when you're waking up and you still kind of see what you were dreaming about, but it's a totally different scene. You know, I believe the Sphinx came to me with long hair, and you know, it looked just like a lion or a cat, if however you look at it. And this is very significant in Egyptian society. You know, it's depicted on the cameo, and on the chariot, and sorry, on the chariot, and the right-away tarot deck. So I think they're very significant. And I believe it was God. Honestly, I'm gonna just come out there and say it coming to me. I was going through a really rough time in my life when this creature appeared to me. It didn't say anything, but I knew it was there. I knew I wasn't seeing things, and you know, it just disappeared, even slow. It didn't even just like, it didn't even just disappear like fast where I'm like, am I tripping? It disappeared slow, like it wanted to see me. So I've been drawn to the Sphinxes ever since, and I got this statue especially for that, to dedicate it to that on my altar or my sacred space. Isn't it so beautiful? Oh my goodness. I saw a smaller one that looked like this, but when I saw this big one, I was like, no, it looked more big. And I was sitting at the edge of my couch. I was sleeping on my couch, and I was going through a really rough time, hoping that someone rescued me or something showed me that I'm still worth, you know, being here. And you know, it's all of this I'm doing is not for nothing. So I think it's very significant. And so I have him or her here. And as I mentioned, the Yoruba religion, I have my Eshu candle. Eshu Elegwa or Eshu Elegba. I like to say Elegba better. And Eshu, I like to think of him. He's another one of the Jesus people. There's seven Orishas. He's one of the youngest, I believe, and he's the most powerful one with a lot of responsibility, like Yeshua was. He was one powerful being. You know, his mom and his dad, they were more significant before he was born, but when he was born, you know, Jesus took over the story, and Yeshua took over the story, and you know, Yeshua had all these powers and believed in these miracles, and he performed these miracles. He believed his Father is in heaven, and you know, that's how he even came about that, you know, Mary was a virgin, you know, and she ended up being pregnant with Jesus. So who could have done that? Nothing but the Holy Spirit or God, our source, could have done that, you know, because she was a virgin. And Joseph, his dad on earth, didn't even, you know, believe. He was like, how could this even happen? Because I didn't touch her, you know, like we didn't do anything. How can I be a father? And I didn't make that creation. But you know, it goes back to the story of when Adam was created. He was created from clay, or created from something else outside of even a mother and a father. So and that's why I believe God is both mother and father, because you know, you have to have both parts to make a creation. You know, these days and ages, you can't make a baby without having a mother and a father. So that's a little spiel that I have right now. So yeah, so like I said, this message is going to be about source, and how you're going to be leveling up, and how they're going to help you level up, and what things you should take a look at on your journey. You know, so for my pals, I have crystals, and I have a special message under these cards as well. You know, and it makes the crystals look, you know, stand out, except for kind of this one because it's black and white just like the cards, but we're gonna roll with it. So we have some interesting statues, crystals, and I picked these especially for this reading because I thought they had significant messages corresponding to the pals that have messages for you as well. So I hope you enjoy, and thank you so much for tuning in. Bear with me. Pick more than one pal. And at the beginning, I also have a Bible verse. You don't have to meditate on that if you don't believe in the Bible. You believe in another source. And you know, I'm even getting to the point where I'm gonna try to take pieces from every type of religion, so I understand. But right now, I'm using the Bible because that's what I have access to. But so take some time to meditate on that. Maybe even think about that as you're picking which pal, which crystal you're gonna select and receive a message from. And if you want to select more than one pal, please do, because sometimes, you know, there's another message in that pal for you that corresponds even better than the first one that you thought you should hear from. So I'm gonna get started. So our first pal number 1, I like to call this the lotus flower. I don't know if it really was a lotus flower when I got it, but it's a fluorite crystal. And lotus flowers, if you're not familiar, see, that's Isis. And we just mentioned the Egyptian tradition, or, you know, connection that we have here. And I forgot to even mention, I have a little selenite slither, and it came from a bigger one that I had, and I didn't want to throw it away for some reason. And I'm gonna keep this here to continue to cleanse the energy. Selenite cleanses other crystals, it cleanses the energy in general. So and I believe I receive better messages, you know, when I have that around. It's interesting. So I said this is the first pile, the fluorite lotus flower. We have a lotus flower on the card as well. And the second pile, I like to call this the Jasper, even though I'm not sure if it's really a Jasper. It's a zebra, some type of zebra crystal. The name is not coming to me right now, so I'm gonna go with Jasper. I believe it was Jasper, but if it's not, please bear with me. If you know it, that's fine too. And if you want, you could comment and, you know, let others know what this crystal is. And pile 3, I have the Tower. Again, I don't know what type of crystal it is, but I know it's a Pakistani crystal. So we'll see. We have another tradition here as well. And then last but not least, I love this statue. And I think it's because I have my car, I named my car a unicorn. And this is called Epidote, this crystal. It's like a greenish gray. It's so beautiful. If you can't see the color, really. I'm gonna put it up closer. So beautiful. And it's heavy too. And all of these crystals are pretty heavy, so we're gonna get heavy messages. All right, so take some time to meditate. Please try not to look based on the looks with your eyes. Tune into your third eye and see what crystal is calling out to you, what pile is calling out to you, based on how it's positioned or whatever. But, you know, like, try to really deeply meditate on this, because I believe these messages are going to be long. You know, the cards that I have, the piles that I'm going to be demonstrating to you, they have a pretty hefty amount of cards. So take some time, and I'll see you at your pile. Thank you. So, hi, pile 1, welcome to your reading. I'm going to get started. So what I did at the beginning is shuffle some tarot cards to get an overall message across the piles. You know, I think that, you know, Source is trying to tell us to work together and find some way to connect. So that's why I chose to shuffle the tarots across the 4 piles to see what messages I got. within each pile. So look at them as tribes. So the first card that I got for pile number 1 is and that's the Lotus Flourite, the 8 of Pentacles. So let me turn these around. That's really what it is. Okay, so the 8 of Pentacles is what I have, and I have that upright. So right now, see, the message is already connecting, because we're talking about how we're going to level up and what projects or what parts of our journey we should be focusing on, and how Source is going to help us. And 8 of Pentacles depicts a person working on their craft, perfecting their craft. And you know, from the 7 of Pentacles, you're planting those seeds. You're probably studying, you're probably doing research, you're figuring out what you have to do to get this project or whatever thing you're creating off the ground. And right now, and in the 8 of Pentacles, you're actually working on that. So in this reading, we're getting to the point where we're working on the actual craft. Then 4 of Cups, it's reversed. 4 of Cups upright means that, you know, you're bored, you know, Divine is offering you something and you're choosing not to take it. And then, but upside down, I believe, I always try to look at the reversals as positive things, because it's easy to get caught up in looking at reversals as negative. So I always think of it as moving out of, or you've conquered it. You no longer look at that anymore in that way. So, and if it's divine disappointment, you're disappointed, I think upside down, it means that you're being appointed. You know, you're appointed, you're being assigned to something. And as we said, across the board, you know, God or our Source is calling us and helping us with what we're trying to establish. He loves, or she loves, looking at the crafts and the talents that we have and how we're putting them to use, you know, because that's what we're created for. We all have a special gift. We all have something to offer the world, and hopefully that we all realize that before we leave this earth, before our time is up on this earth. And so 4 of Cups is upside down, and I believe you've accepted that offer from the divine, and you're starting to work on it, as we saw in the 8 of Pentacles, or 8 of Discs. And then the third card, as an overall message, we have the Princess of Discs, and it's upright. And normally the Princess of Discs, which is the Page of Pentacles, it means that someone is studying, you know, someone is, you know, being adventurous and exploring their craft. And as I mentioned before about the 7 of Pentacles, you because you're now at the 8 of Pentacles, you are looking at how you can perfect your craft, and you're going out, you're stepping out, you're not even you're researching, but you're researching in points of trying to move forward. So it's interesting that the Page of Pentacles or Disc is here. So that's what I have for the overall message in pile 1. And to correspond with those, I have these Ascension cards, and they're just full of symbolism, and I have a lot of these, so bear with me. We're trying to fit them all in the camera. I'm going to show them as well, so probably shouldn't worry too much about it. First card we have is Jupiter upside down, And like we said, we're remaining positive. So upside down Jupiter means that your abundance is here. Jupiter is a planet of expansion, abundance, wishes, wisdom. You're being granted the wisdom, and everything you've been looking for, all the answers you've been looking for, you've been granted them. That's what I'm looking at this as. And then Chokma, it's a part of the tree of life. And if you're not familiar with the tree of life is basically, I like to think of it as the one big human body, and we're all part of it, in some way. The body has different parts, and they have different functions, and different parts of your body have different jobs to do, and Chokma, I want to say it's wisdom as well, so it's corresponding with the Jupiter, but it's actually one of the higher parts of the tree, the tree. And that's the crazy thing about it, because no one is special. Well, everybody is special in their own way. And in the tree of life, whether you're going from top to bottom or bottom to top, it's a significant area to start from, or it's a significant place to be, because the bottom is just as important as the top, and the top is just as important as the bottom. And it's reminding me of the verse that says the first will be last and the last will be first. And like, it kind of sounds like hopeless, because what if you're considered one of the people to be first, and you work so hard to get there, and you're not going to be last. But I like to think of it as, instead of thinking of it as, someone's going to get left out, is that it's going to be appropriate for your position, where if you're striving to be the best, you will be the best, and you feel like you're at the bottom, you will be at the top, so that's what I'm thinking of it as. And that card actually came out at the end, and I still put it before Jupiter, because I felt like that's where it needs to be placed. And then we also have the sacral chakra. That's interesting. So the sacral chakra is it rules creativity and sexuality, the creative parts of ourselves. And as we did mention in the last two last two cards, and even the last tarot cards we just went over, we're looking at our creativity. We're looking at the parts that we're working on to progress through our journey of life. The tree of life is here, abundance is here, wisdom is here, and we're using all of those to come up with our creations, and what makes us special, and what we're looking for, our purpose, and what we're created for. So that's upright. And and which brings us to the other card we have is this solar plexus chakra, and it's upside down. So it's interesting that that the solar plexus chakra is upside down, but the sacral chakra is upright. And if you're going in order to get from the sacral chakra to the solar plexus chakra, you have to conquer whatever you have to conquer in the sacral chakra. But as I mentioned before, the tree of life, like I said, it's kind of corresponding to our body. It's like how our body is, if whether you go up top to bottom or bottom to top, everything is significant. So I think it's interesting that if we're looking at that same logic, it looks like we're going from top to bottom now. If we've conquered our solar plexus chakra, then we're now working on our sacral chakra, and sometimes you do need that confidence to go after your goals, to go after what you think you were created for, your purpose, and to search for your purpose. And that's what the solar plexus chakra is. It even says, like, if you had a statement for the solar plexus chakra, or I guess this is my theory, it's the I am, because it's all about confidence. Like, I am this, I am fierce. And it relates to the sun, and the sun is all about being yourself and being, the sun doesn't need anything to be itself, like it doesn't need any energy for anything else. It creates its own energy. So you have to get to that point where you're creating your own energy to even make that creation, or to contribute to that creation. At least that's what I'm seeing now. And we have the element of fire, as I just was saying, and then, the sacred chakra, even though it's not a chakra dedicated to fire, it has a fire element to it. That's probably why it's orange, because, orange is created from red and yellow, I believe. We're going to colors, and we have red in the fire, and then we have even yellow in here, and then some hues of orange. So those three chakras that are before you get to the heart chakra, they're red, orange, and yellow. The root chakra is red. So I think what we're saying right now is we have this, or we're working on it, because it is upright, it is here, it is present, and it also corresponds with Jupiter. Jupiter is a hot planet as well. It's not as hot as the sun, but it's just as big and hot as well. So all these messages are going together, and it also landed on top of Chokmah, the wisdom. So that fire, that creativity, that initiation, that's what fire even means. Initiation, creativity, authority, like what can stand up against fire? Water. But if you don't have that much water to overcome fire, fire can't be beat. Like, we had that fire like a few years ago, I want to say in 2019, in the Amazon, like they were going down, putting water and dirt, and until the rain actually came from the elemental source, the actual creativity. I like to think of water as creativity as well, even though it's fire. It's the polar opposite of fire. You need both of them to work together as well. But that fire didn't go out until the rain was produced, until it was enough rain to put out that fire. So I feel like you've gone through the point where, if you're going from bottom to top, top to bottom, you're gone through the point where you don't have to cry anymore. You don't have to, understand. You could understand that, that water was needed to create this fire in you, but you don't have to look at it as, you were so vulnerable or weak because you had times in your life. And I mentioned earlier, I've been going through some things, and how I even relate to Sphinx now, and sometimes those things are necessary for us to go through so we can have a different perspective. So I think that's what Source is saying right now, where we've gone through the rain, we're experiencing the fire, but that fire is good because it was all that rain was necessary for this fire to come about, that was needed to ignite. So the fire wasn't bad in the first place, even though the water can put that fire out. It's needed, it's necessary for you to make certain moves in your life. So I'm getting from that. Speaking of water and fire, Scorpio, our last card, and it's over the sacral chakra, which relates to creativity. And the Scorpio is all about endings and beginnings, and exposing yourself, and it's about legacy. So as we were saying earlier, we're working on our crafts, we're working on what makes us special, and this is upright, so it's here right now. And Scorpio is ruled by water. Like, water is a necessary form of life. Water is a part of the destruction, but it's also a part of the healing aspect as well. So yeah, I love how this message is coming together, and I thank you so much, Source, for giving me these words, and I hope that you guys understand where I'm coming from when it comes to that. So, and I hope that message even makes sense to you, how it is to me. All right, so as I stated earlier, I did the tarot cards over the whole 4 piles, and I also did these ascension cards as well, just to see, you know, what part of the ascension process are we in. And these are the cards that I got, and I think they really correspond to, even if we look at all 3 elements, all 3 cards that we pulled earlier, we can look at how even the second card, the first card really corresponds to Jupiter and creativity, solar plexus chakra, and then the second card was the 4 of Cups, Chokma, the wisdom. You know, Chokma is dealing with, you know, our source, our act, you know, the part of the tree of life that deals with source, you know, like, you know, how it's working together to bring certain things to you. And that 4 of Cups was upside down. That means that this stuff is raining on you. You have been appointed, you have been designated for this certain mission. And then the last card was the Princess of Discs, where you're working on stuff, where you're researching, where you're actually figuring out how to put that creativity in mind. So these 2 cards are the fire and the water element are working together and seeing how they can come up with something. So thank you so much for listening to that and bearing with me with that. So I thought it was appropriate to see what crystals we should be working on, because crystals also provide healing, but it also provides empowerment, not only empowerment, but also initiation, that fire and a desire, and, you know, encouragement and everything else. So I'm gonna quickly show, well, not quickly, but, you know, I'm not gonna lay them all down like I did everything else, because it's a pretty hefty amount of it. And again, I did it across the boards, and I used the whole deck just to see, you know, which ones was going to. I went through the whole deck and see, based on the messages I received on each deck, I corresponded the crystals to what pile I thought was calling it, and these are the crystals that I came up with. So we have orpiment, excuse me, which indicates success. And to me, that looks like citrine, and look, it is corresponding to the sacral chakra that we mentioned earlier. Fire agate, that's upside down as well. It's in reverse. Fire element, creativity. See, creativity is coming together. Pneumite, and that corresponds with healing, the water element that we were speaking of, the overcoming your fears, becoming confident. Pneumite, and it normally black crystals, they banish negative energy, and they're protectors. So this is interesting that it ended up in this pile, in this healing. Citrine, which represents abundance, and as I mentioned earlier, that orpiment, if I said orpiment earlier, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put them down here so you can kind of see them, but you don't have to focus too much on them. And citrine is about abundance, and like I said earlier, that orpiment kind of reminded me of citrine. It looked like a citrine cluster. They have a citrine quartz, it looks like here, but normally the clusters look more like the orpiment we saw earlier. Ruby is oof. And you see that red color is back again. Ruby is a really precious, priceless stone, and you know, that's dealing with the time to shine, you know, that confidence again, the creativity, sensuality, the whatever you want to put that in when it comes to shining. You do your best to shine at that and perfect your craft. Amazonite, a life purpose. our life purpose. Didn't I mention that earlier? Amazonite. Amazonite is a beautiful crystal. Look at how beautiful. I like when I see something green, because the green, it's not only related to money, but it's related to nature, beauty, and that's what nature is, beauty. And then we mentioned the Amazon forest fire earlier, so look at that, and that's reversed. So you're working on your life purpose. And see, the ruby and the citrine was upright because that's what's coming for you. That's what you have to look at. The creativity is here. That's why it was upright. But in the ornament, the success is here. See, ornament, creativity, abundance, success, all of that is here. All you have to do is step into that. Okay, ooh, I really like this one. Manifestation. And this is the Libyan gold tektite. Tektite. I was gonna say tektite, but tektite. And look at that. That is a beautiful stone. That is a beautiful stone. It's so yellow. Look, all the yellows are coming together. We only had one green one, but I believe the green one was here for a reason as well. Because we were talking about our life purpose. So yeah, that the manifestation, see, it's upside down. That means you've already manifested this. You already planted the seeds for what you want to do, and now all you're doing is summoning it in. It's coming in. Sunstone, we mentioned the sun earlier, and look at him making a cameo, or look at her making a cameo. Empowerment, didn't I mention empowerment earlier? That's what crystals do. They empower you. Like, people look at them as rocks, like, may not even see how they're drawn to certain crystals, but sometimes that's the underlying thing of healing. You don't know you're being healed, and a lot of our ancestors, or past civilizations, have used crystals to communicate with source, communicate with higher powers, different dimensions, to bring certain aspects in. It's just another tool and another element of life that we look at. It's part of the earth. Crystals are part of the earth, different parts of the earth. That's where these crystals were found or even created from, volcanoes, all that type of stuff. It created, how we make diamonds nowadays. That's a form of crystal, a crystal making diamond. How you make crystals, that's a form of crystal making. How you make diamonds, sorry. That's a form of crystal making. You need fire. And these are corresponding to the past. So I'm glad I was able to organize them in that way. Another healing crystal, and this is a beautiful card, master teaching card. This is a awakening crystal, and I like to think of it as really looking at our higher power. Our higher power is coming here to say, and that's upside down too. That means you're getting emotional healing, not just regular healing. You're getting emotional healing from the highest source, and it's here already. You probably already experienced it or going through it already, so that's why it's upside down. And this is a master teacher card. So some of you guys are gurus yourself. Some of you guys are teachers yourself, and that's what your life purpose is probably meant to be. Sorry. Then we have fairy stone, fertility. And fertility could go back to the sacral chakra. You're creating something that hasn't been birthed yet. The fairy stones, you've probably been seeing fairies, or the fairies are making a cameo right now. They're showing that they're here, these special beings. And I like to think of them as our little angels, or how they have the angel and the devil on your shoulder, and how they used to depict that in cartoons and movies. I like to think of fairies like that, but they're all here for you. They have your best interest at heart. Another green stone, and this one is called hidden night. something's hidden, but it's not hidden anymore because it's upside down. It's been exposed. Your exposure. We have the sun here. The sun comes to expose certain things, certain people, certain parts and aspects of yourself. And this stone represents gratitude. So no longer have to hide what you're doing, you know, and maybe sources telling that they're thankful that you're coming out your shell, coming out your comfort zone, going after your goals. Because like I said, source loves to see what we create, loves to see our desires, loves to see, you know, like anything that we have, you know, we put our mind, time, energy, and effort into. They love to see the result of that. So maybe source is here saying thank you. Joy, another orange stone. And this is opal. Opal is such a good stone. They have different types of opal, and if you don't have opal, you should get you some opal. And this one represents joy. And they have different types of opal. I think I have even a green opal. It's so cute. Oh my goodness. But yeah, and another orange energy, red energy, however you want to look at that as, and joy. And the sun is also a part of joy as well. So I'm gonna put that a little bit by the sun. When you see the joy, the sun card at tarot, you know, it represents joy, happiness. The boy is on a pony, having fun. You know, normally if you have a different type of deck other than the Rider-Waite, normally the sun it represents someone being happy, or people being happy, jumping in the sun, you know, basking in its ambience. But last but not least, we have labradorite. And see, that joy was upside down. That means it's already here. You got it. You got that joy. That's where the healing came from. That's what all the healing was for. So you could see the light and the rainbow at the end of the storm. See, after the storm, there's always a rainbow. So yeah, labradorite. And speaking of rainbow, labradorite has that like rainbow glare if you put it over lights. You know, like if you what is it called? If you move it like this, I don't know what that's called, but if you do it like that, when you have a labradorite crystal, it has this like shimmer, rainbow looking aspect to it. So, and it's saying take action. See, got to go after them goals. Go after them goals. Whatever you've been thinking about, do it. See what comes from it. Thank you. I know I keep saying thank you, but I know sometimes things get long, you know, like this reading may be really long, and so I'm very grateful you're taking time out your day to listen to me and see what messages I have. Okay? All right. So, Source has been here since the beginning of the time. So what that makes it, our ancestor, our elder, and all those things you want to say about that. So we're going to hear from our ancestors now. So first card, well, message that we have, the only message that we have from our immediate ancestor, and I want to say our higher power: go after your goals. And guess what? It's upside down. So, yeah, it's upside down. So, you're at that stage. You're at that stage. Don't you love how all this is coming together? I just love it. I love it, at least. So, it said, and then so in this card it says, go after your goals. Persist, encourage, and advance. Look at him. And look at that red and yellow. Look at that red and yellow in there with the orange. Oh my goodness. I didn't even notice that when I was pulling these cards and, you know, speaking to spirit and they were giving me these messages. I did not notice that. And then the second one we have the circle cross of Tenan. Rare intersection of heaven and earth. See? So this is coming down. They're helping you. They're helping you. And I kind of want to read what this one says. And this one's upside down as well. So So, does that look better? I want to read at least a paragraph of what the Tanan one is, because, you know, a lot of us don't know about those. So, hold on one moment. I'm going to grab the book. And I'm also going to pull tarot cards to clarify these cards as well. So, bear with me. Thank you so much again. I did that while I was pulling the cards, but because I want each message to be different, I didn't keep them out. I didn't keep the cards out. So we're gonna have even more clearer messages. Okay, so Rise the Empowering. That's all I needed to read that, and I should have had that ready, but I just got indication that I was gonna read it. So give me a moment. Alrighty. Okay. The Circle Cross of Tanan. Rare intersection of heaven and earth. Your plans and purpose are in alignment with greater cosmic forces. Whether you see it coming or not, things will fall into place, and what you have been working towards will come to fruition. The rare intersection of heaven and earth will result in a precious manifestation of grace. Oh my goodness. The divine shall correct a situation that is in need of a realignment. Fear not, pray boldly, and be faithful. All is well. I'm glad I read that. And I hope that that gave you something too, because that realignment, it says, like, see, I was talking about the healing earlier. See, they're here to help you. And I wanted to do go after your goals, but it explains a little bit more, you know, based on the reading that we have. And I'm gonna clarify these cards with our ancestor deck. So bear with me. And this is the last part of the reading. Okay, so on the bottom of the deck we have 9 of baskets, which is the 9 of cups. Wish fulfillment. Everything is coming to fruition, like we just read. Okay, so I'm just get however many cards I flip out. So we have the 6 of sticks upside down. Victory. Father Sims, that's temperance. Yep. Upside down. Sorry. Trying to make sure you see it just like I'm seeing it. And judgment. Upside down. Them bones. Them bones. Them bones. And then let me get one more. That's symmetry. Wheel of Fortune. I'm done. We're done. Wheel of Fortune. So all of these are victorious cards. Angels are here. Like we said earlier, the fairy stone, or I said earlier, I think fairies are our little angels. So the temperance is here. That normally means mixing two opposite forces, as we discussed earlier. The fire and the water coming together, they're needed, even though they can destroy each other. they're needed to work together to produce something else. 6 of Wands, victory, and all these cards are upside down. They're upside down. That means you've overcome, or it's already happened, or it's here. You're gonna be experiencing it soon. So hold on, change is coming. I like that song by Sounds of Blackness, maybe, and I just channeled that, so maybe you should look that up if you never heard it, or maybe you should listen to it as a refresher if you haven't listened to it in a while. So thank you so much again. And last but not least, I'm going to show you the card that was under your pile. the universe. So when we picked our crystal earlier, this was the card that was under your crystal. And I was going to do it at the beginning, but it was a lot of things that were at the beginning that could set your mind going forward. Like the Bible verse, if you really meditated on that, the crystal itself. So I saved this for last. And I'm glad I did, because it's the universe. It's the universe. Source. And it's upside down. It's upside down. Look at the face right there. The face. And then look at the sun is, well, if it was upright, let me turn it upright. So the sun is at the top, and then at the bottom is the moon. See, two forces coming together. All right, well, that is your reading. Thank you so much, angels, ancestors, spirit guides, all of you guys who made a cameo, all the elements, anything that you guys believe in. Thank you so much for tuning in again and bearing with me this far. I'm so grateful, and I hope that you have a nice, blessed day. Bye. Hi, welcome Power 2 to your reading. Those you have chose the zebra crystal. Beautiful crystal. Leave that there. Okay, so I'm going to start off with tarot cards for the overall messages across all 4 piles. We have the Knight of Cups. Sorry. Reversed. I have the 8 of Wands upright. And then we have the Fool upright. So, Source is telling us to work together and bring in these new beginnings. Based off of what I received from Source, I believe that he is telling us that these messages are going to come through fast. I normally start from this side to that side, but it's bringing me to this 8 of Wands first, because, you know, when we have the 8 of Wands, it normally means some type of communication is coming in fast, or you're traveling, or, you know, there's an attack on you and you must fight back. And it's corresponding to what we see on this picture. He has arrows. He has a bow and arrow right here. And all of those arrows are cocked into this bow. And right now, since the message is about Source telling us to go after our goals and how we're going to level up and how they're going to help us level up, I feel like this card right here in particular is saying that someone is fighting on your behalf. Something is coming in, and those goals will be met. You know, whether we have to fight, whether there has to be destruction, but it's coming in. There's no attack that will overcome you. Nothing will prosper. And it's bringing me to that verse, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And then the Knight of Cups. So, sorry, I didn't show you the 8 of Wands because I just started in the middle. But the 8 of Wands, sorry, I shook the table. But yeah, the 8 of Wands. Look at that. That's a beautiful card. I love these cards. At first, I was just like, what is so significant about this deck? But the paintings are so significant. That's what's significant. Now we have the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is normally a peace offering, and it's upside down. And I like to think of reversals as positive things and, you know, something that you're overcoming. But I believe that in this case, it could be the negative things, like no more peace. No more trying to be so humble that, you know, it's at your expense. We've tried it that way. But the Knight of Cups also is it means aid or help. You know, someone's helping you. You have a guide or a mentor helping you right now. You know, and that's what this reading is about, is what type of help is coming in, what kind of help is being summoned in. And also the Knight of Cups is he's a lover. He's a lover, not a fighter. I like to think of him as like, I'm a lover and not a fighter. Excuse me. Someone is flushing the toilet. And then the Fool. The Fool represents new beginnings, taking that leap of faith, taking, you know, not caring about what's gonna happen, just going after it, doing it, you know. And the Fool is kind of naive, but he's a smart person because he feels like he has to go out on its own to explore, to understand what things mean. You know, he's not gonna accomplish anything by just staying in the position he's in. So he's taking that leap of faith. He has his companion in the normal Rider-Waite deck, but right here, it's the companion is a dog in a normal Rider-Waite deck, but the Rider-Waite Coleman Smith deck, because Pamela Coleman Smith created all the pictures, so I like to give her reverence too. Sorry, I didn't give her reverence before. If you watched any of my other piles. But the companion here, I believe, is the bunny rabbit, and bunny rabbit represents fertility, new birth, new beginnings. And you know, the rabbit or the bunny is a very significant creature. You know, the bunny is always preparing for something, just like the squirrel, but to me they're kind of the same. They kind of look the same, they're cute little faces, but yeah, they're always preparing for something because they understand what's coming next. And I believe they have a connection to the spiritual realm and the physical realm, so they know what's coming, and it's as above, so below. So you know, they have this leg up on what's gonna come, and that's why I believe it's even here, because they're coming, they're traveling with someone who's not sure what to expect, but they're here to show them like no need to fear. And he's on its head. And then I also see the butterfly. Well, at least I see a butterfly here, or a moth. And moth also represents transformation, new beginnings. You know, when a butterfly was created, it's after it was a caterpillar and it was in its cocoon. And it's experiencing new beginnings when it hatches from that cocoon and becomes a butterfly. It's a whole new function, I would say, for lack of a better word, or a whole new creation, for lack of a better word. So yeah, so that's what I'm getting for this, the energy surrounding your reading. So I also have some Ascension cards, and these are the only two that came out that Spirit wanted me to speak about. And because it was only two that came out, I'm going to read the book for the cross, because the cross can mean different things to different people. And is that upside down? Because it was upright. Okay, so upright. I keep doing that wrong. So the Mercury is upside down, and then the cross is upright. So I'm going to read the book for the cross. Bear with me. And I may even read Mercury, or bits and pieces of it. The cross. So since it's upright, I'm going to read the upright version. It says, perhaps one of the well-known and widely recognized of the ancient symbols, the cross is a symbol of sacrifice, trust, faith, life, resurrection, and immortality. So what was I saying earlier about the faith, about the resurrection, new life, rebirth. So when this card appears, it asks you to analyze your convictions and your motives. Are the actions and thoughts that you take for the greater good, or do they come from a selfish place? It is a gentle reminder that self is important, but that action taken or words spoken that are negative or not for the greater good are better left undone and unsaid. So yeah, so we're talking about how we all connect and relate and come together and accomplish our goals and see what we're here for and what our life mission is, but we do that for the greater good of all. That was my spiel. It asks you to remember what is truly important. Remember the true value within things, both for yourself and for others, and you shall be rewarded with answers from the divine. See, the divine is here to tell you this. Analyze what you're here for. What things are being said and done. What things are, being shown to you. And see how it can work for the highest good for all. Yeah, yourself is important. Self-love, all of that is important. So don't forget yourself, but also recognize what it is for all of us. What does that mean for all of us? So Mercury. The first of the traditional known planets, Mercury represents the Greek god Hermes, the winged messenger. So this is a message for us. It is the fastest moving planet and represents communication. It rules critical thought and intellectual reasoning, adaptability, and travel. And what were we saying about earlier? Travel with the Eight of Wands. When it appears in your reading, its messages can be extremely beneficial, but beware. Foolhardiness results if critical analysis is not applied. So foolhardiness, that's an interesting word. The fool was earlier. Results if critical analysis is not applied, like we were saying earlier, even with the cross as well. When heated, the energies of Mercury can help one see through deception, falsehood, and illusion. If this is related to the situation you are inquiring about, call upon the energies of Mercury to help grant clarity and to expose falseness. So since this is reversed, I'm going to read the reverse meaning as well. When inverted, beware of the messages that Mercury is sending, for it may be playing tricks on you. So the fool is also represented as the trickster as well, I like to say. Pay close attention to your intuition when interpreting the energies and messages granted by this card when it appears inverted. So thank you so much for bearing with me on that. Hopefully that gave you some clarity on what these cards are about and how it relates to the messages source is trying to send you right now. Messages. Okay, so the next part of your reading, I have some crystals. And there are a lot of crystals in this deck too. So, and I also did this spread across the whole, all four piles to get a collective message of what should be dedicated to this tribe. I like to call the four piles a tribe in this reading because that's what Source looks at us as. He separates us in different groups and tribes. If you want to say traditions, families, that's what he does, our friend groups and our workplaces. He separates us in groups to bring out certain aspects of ourselves. You know how you're different around your coworkers and you're different around your friends and you're different around your family. Those aspects come out, different characteristics of your character or personality come out based on the surroundings and the groups you're in. So, and I like to think of crystals as healing and empowerment and encouragement. Even though if you don't believe in crystals and you don't understand energies that crystals hold, I think it's important to try to get messages from certain aspects and elements of Earth. That's what crystals are. Sorry for the background. But it kind of helps me focus too, so that's why I have the window open. But please excuse me if it's distracting you or making it hard for you to hear me in certain parts. Rewind it if you have to. But yeah, so so crystals and you know, like, they come from different parts of the earth. They can be found in different parts of the world, and you know, like, volcanoes are very known for producing certain type of crystals. You know, our Lemurian ancestors, if you're familiar with Lemuria, you know, they use crystals to bury messages for what they received before their civilization was destroyed. Their civilization was a whole continent, and it was destroyed. And you know, we don't hear about Lemuria anymore, but it was a real place. The parts of Lemuria still remain in Hawaii, but look, that area was changed to a name called Hawaii, you know, and so it functions different. It's a different atmosphere now. And you know, in Lemuria, they communicated. An interesting thing about Lemuria, because I believe I'm from Lemuria. We're all star seeds, if we believe in that type of thing. I believe I'm part of Lemuria. I'm part of different star systems as well. But Lemuria kind of sticks out to me because it reminds me of a lot of things that my ancestors in the United States may have went through, or even in Africa may have went through, like Egypt. Like, so how Egypt was destroyed, their civilization was destroyed, and they left behind hieroglyphics, you know, but they also had their own language, you know, as well, but we don't speak that anymore, you know. And then, you know, in the United States, slavery, you know, from Africa, it brought us here, if that is true. But, you know, slavery that did happen in the United States, you know, when we were already here, especially our Native American ancestors, they had their own civilization, and it was destroyed and taken over, and only a piece of that land was given back to people, and they were our people, and they were called they're called reservations now. But before that, they had more than that little piece of land that they were granted, or they fought for. I like to think that they fought for it, and they were like, no, y'all not taking this part, you know, like, y'all can have the rest, but y'all not taking this part. And they were doing well on their own before buildings, before supermarkets, and you know, they found ways to make ends meet, make their clothes, make their shelter, make their food, hunt their food, worship the spirits. You know, like, I think I'm very connected to the Native American ancestors. I believe I'm part of it. You know how they say, black people always say that they're part of the Cherokee Indian tribe. I believe that I'm part of more than just Cherokee. I believe I am a Native American, because a lot of the history it's almost like the history I know. It's nobody taught it to me, but it's when I read about it, some of the stuff, the history, and you know, the artifacts that I see, it's almost like I already seen it, or I know how to use it already, or you know, I know it's saying to me already. So that's why I believe I am that. I haven't taken any ancestral tests or whatever. I just rely on what source, what God gives me in my dreams, with my meditations, and what messages and synchronicities, symbols he sends me, or they send me to let me know and remind me where I come from. So yeah, so sorry about that spill. I went off on a tangent. So a lot of them, they use elements like this. Some people use bones, you know, animal bones, to get messages, derive messages from spirit, Holy Spirit, our source, our creator, the higher powers. It's different parts of different tribes that different parts of different traditions and ethnicities, you know, nationalities. They use different things to connect, like even Hinduism, Buddhism, you know, they believe in a certain thing. They believe in certain aspects, but I believe that same story is just represented in different ways and how people choose to interpret it. So that's my spiel. You don't have to believe it. That's how I believe in it. So yeah, so the first crystal we have is kyanite blue, which represents letting go. Letting go, like the Fool card that we read about earlier. And then when we read about the cross, you know, like getting rid of negativity, things that shouldn't be said or done, you know, and letting go of that. So this is a lot. I'm gonna put it. This was upright. I'll just put it this way. Aquamarine is also upright. Communication. See, it corresponds to the messages we were receiving earlier about messages. Mercury itself, you know, the 8 of Wands. Aquamarine, oh my goodness. And if you're interested in mermaids and, you know, sea creatures and stuff, aquamarine is a good crystal to receive messages from those type of beings and creatures, magical creatures you believe in or are interested in learning about. That's a good way to help you receive those messages. See, communication messages. Then, excuse me if I say this wrong, caqulfund, new beginnings. The Fool card again. The crystal is matching. Caqulfund, new beginnings. So if you're working on something new and trying to birth something new, maybe you should try to look into how to get some caqulfund, aquamarine, blue kyanite. Ooh, blue kyanite is good for your third eye too. So if you're trying to communicate better with your intuition, your third eye, your higher self, the higher power, the spirit, the universe, that's a good crystal to get as well. And then so caqulfund, new beginnings is upside down, and like I said, with reversals, I believe that you've already conquered it. So even new beginnings, they're not new anymore. You've already conquered that, and you know, now you're working on getting those new beginnings into fruition. Forgiveness, pink tourmaline, upside down too. So you've already probably you've been working on forgiveness. You've been working on forgiving yourself, forgiving others, forgiving things that happened to you, and you're healing from that. And tourmaline itself, it's a healing crystal, it's a banishing crystal, it's a protection crystal. It's so good. It's and then the pink also represents love. So forgiveness is a part of love, like forgiving yourself, forgiving others. That's an act of love. Pink and pink mixed together. Stibnite, conflict. We spoke about conflict earlier. We spoke about negativity earlier, and it came right out after forgiveness. So letting go, communication. Maybe you have to talk about the conflict. You know, turning over a new leaf. You know, stibnite. Ooh, and that looks like blue kyanite. So I'm gonna put that right there. Blue kyanite. Is that better? Okay. Whew. I like this crystal. I have something similar, but it's a different color. The crocoite. I'm gonna say it like that. And that reminds me of crocodiles, but it says sexuality. You know, sexuality also deals with the creativity part of you, you know, and then it could even represent, could even be clarifying this new beginnings, you know, your creativity, your goals, your life purpose, your mission. And that's what this reading is all about, is how we're going to meet those goals and life purpose, give purpose to our lives. All right, and that is what was that? Yeah, it was upright, so it's here. So even, and trigger alert if you've been I won't even put it between this. If you've been hurt sexually, I believe that, you know, Spirit is bringing in some healing for that. And, you know, and it's asking you to forgive those who'd hurt you. You don't have to reconcile with them, but you forgive them for yourself. You know how they say forgiveness is not for them, it's for yourself. That's how I believe that they're talking about with this. Sorry, that glare. Hopefully that doesn't mess up how you can see the messages. But yeah, so I'm gonna put it over new beginnings and forgiveness, you know, like making yourself anew, you know. If you believe in the Bible, how Yeshua says, or they say about Yeshua, Jesus, through his stripes we are healed, you know, like through this hurt and pain you're healed. And you know, you have people in a spiritual realm, creations in spiritual realms, other galaxies, other dimensions, helping you, healing you, protecting you, and understand you're never alone. You're never alone. And I have to always remind myself that, because I always feel alone. But I do like being alone, but I don't like being alone per point that I'm like antisocial. But it just feels like a lot of people don't understand me. And as I mentioned earlier in the intro, like I almost gave up because I'm like, I feel like I have a message, and I feel like God speaks to me through my dreams a lot, like a lot. And you know, and some things come to fruition that he shows me in my dreams, and I'm like, is that indicating that I should communicate some of these messages and, you know, share with people? And, you know, like the cross message said, you know, like see what we can do to help others. And this is my way of trying to help others, and hopefully I'm able to continue to get messages and knowledge and receive guidance on how to help others as well as myself. But okay. It's another spill, sorry. All right, so the next one we have is the Soul Connection Crystal. It's a Master Teacher card, which is awesome because we're speaking the swords right now. So this is ways that we're leveling up. You know, we're teachers, we're masters, and I just spoke about that. You know, like maybe that was for me, and it's called the Levers. You know, like see all this pink we have, love and forgiveness, letting go, new beginnings. Maybe you got new love coming in, so I'm gonna put it right here. New love is communicating with you, and you know that Soul Connection crystal. It reminds me a lot of clear quartz and selenite. You know, because it's clear, but also I like how the shapes are too, because I believe, you know how we have those wands. The wands are automatic, they're made that way. I mean, the wands, we create the wands in that way, but I think this crystal is made in this way, and it looks like a wand already. And wands are healing as well. You know, if you work with wands before on your body, you know, like you can use them to receive and let go of energy as well. So these messages are corresponding. I hope it all makes sense. Again, I'm gonna put this one down there. So, and that was upside down. So you already got your soul connection. Your soul is ready to communicate and connect with you. You know, receive new beginnings. You know, see how you can be a master teacher in this world, probably. But we have Morganite. Morganite is so beautiful. Look how beautiful that crystal is. Can you see it? But it's about relationship healing. So we were talking about that already. You know, like maybe maybe you weren't abused sexually. Trigger again. Sorry, but you probably were having hard times with relationships. Whether it's, you know, loving relationships, you know, family relationships, friend relationships, co-worker relationships, all of those type of relationships where you had to work in a team with another person and cater to their needs as well. That's as being healed right now. And that's upside down, so you probably overcome that as well. I'm gonna put that down there with the pink ones. Emerald. Egypt is here because I spoke about Egypt earlier, and emerald was a very significant crystal in Egypt. Emerald is a very lucky, precious stone, and it also brings prosperity as well. You know, emerald is almost precious as ruby, if not just as precious. They're probably both the same. But we all looked at the same, so, and that's beautiful too. They have some clear in it. And emerald is normally green, dark green, and that represents compassion. And the heart chakra is green, so this is relating to the heart chakra, healing that heart chakra. So I'm gonna put it up here. Sexuality, heart chakra. Ooh. And that is upright, so I did that right. Yeah, I did that right. Okay, so that's upright. And then another green crystal. So green, the heart chakra is here. You're probably healing your heart chakra right now. You know, you may even be experiencing some tightness around that, and that's your heart probably growing and expanding and letting others in through relationships, forgiveness, turning over new leaves, walking away from stuff, letting go. And this is crystal towel. And it relates to animals. So your animals are making a cameo. If you had animals that passed over, if you just have animals that you love and cherish dearly, they're here to say hello. And that's upside down, so yes, they are here. And this is a beautiful stone. It looks more like a rock, and I like crystals that look like rocks because it really reminds me of nature. And then so this green is nature, heart, all of that. And Mother Nature is loving. So pyromorphite. Ooh, pyromorphite. Patience. Another green, heart chakra. And pyro normally deals with fire. So that like I said, you're probably feeling some type of tightness in your chest, or you know, your heart is feeling like a different way. Not that you're sick. If you feel like you're sick, you know, you should go get that checked out. But I'm not a doctor. But I feel like you will know this type of feeling, you know, because all this heart chakra healing is here, and it's patient. Be patient with it, you know, bear with it, understand, try to understand that it's here for your better good. I'm gonna put that in the middle of all the lovey stuff. And last but not least, and that's upright, so it's here. So you're still working on that patience. Maybe you are impatient, and it's here to tell you to be patient with it all. Last but not least, tiger's eye. And that's courage. And that I'm going back to the Fool card. I'm going back to even the Knight of Cups card. See, Knight of Cups was there earlier as well. So all these heart cups deal with healing, water, you know, relationships even. So it's all colliding with this reading. And then courage, the Eight of Wands, and what was that other one? It was another one, and that's not coming to me right now. The Fools, yeah, courage, stepping out on faith, being unafraid to know what's next. So that's what I'm getting from that. Have that there. So hopefully that all made sense. And these are all the crystals. Crystals, like I said, they're very healing and, you know, encouraging and empowering. And last but not least, sources are ancestors, so we have to hear from the ancestor and what messages they have from that. So the first card I have is family connections. Look at that. Look at that. We just were talking about relationships, and I mentioned family. So it says respect, people, and kinship. So your family, the people that you work with, working with each other, respecting their point of views and opinions. And that is upside down. I got that one right. interact and relate. I love how this is coming together. All right. Okay. Interact and relate. All right. I'm so symmetrical. It's sometimes crazy, but all right. So interact, relate. Look at him. He's being that could be his grandmother, or that could even just be an elder in the community. And community, it means community, family, and tradition. So maybe this is a lot of family healing. And you know, I'm so sorry if anybody abused you in your family. You know, myself, I'm adopted, and I didn't even, you know, get to grow up. I mean, like, age out of adoption. You know, I had to leave my adopted family, or I was taken away or removed from my adopted family, however you want to think about that. So I there was a lot of things that were unsaid and undone, you know, that I even understand now, and I'm not even interested in trying to heal those things, not because I'm bitter or anything like that, because it hurts so much. So maybe this message is for me as well, you know, to let things go, you know, forgive, but move on, you know, go after your goals. Yeah, so this is upside down. So we have Padma Sodari. Out of darkness, the light is born. That really relates. Stop it. Just stop. Okay, I'm done. All right. I'm just kidding. But we're almost done. Sorry, this is so long. Okay. But yeah, so Padma Sundari, I'm gonna read the book really quick. Just a paragraph from it, because I've done it in the other powers, so I'm gonna do it here. Padma Sundari, out of darkness, the light is born. The light is powerful enough to survive exposure to the darker side of humanity and remain pure, empowered, and effective. Trust in your spiritual purpose as a light in this world. Interesting that this is what this reading is about. Trust particularly in your ability to bring purity, order, grace, and light to disorder, chaos, and destruction. The divine is ever by your side and ever within your heart, assisting you with this higher purpose in all ways. As I said, you're never alone, like I said earlier. So, last but not least, I'm going to clarify these last cards with tarot. I'll shuffle on camera. Sorry if it's shaking. We have on the bottom of the deck High Priestess, and I shuffled it because the last pile had a different pile. Bottom of the deck card, so I didn't want to have the same thing. So Miss Ida, and she's a little girl, and she's been a High Priestess since she was a little girl, and this is upside down. So I believe that, you know, there are childhood issues. I just spoke about my adoption. You know, I was adopted when I was a little girl, and my mom passed on, bless her heart. Rest in paradise, Marnie. Thank you for making a cameo right here, right now. And that was the worst thing that ever happened to me during that time, and I was kind of forced to heal by myself, or, you know, like, get over it by myself, because nobody really understood the relationship I had with my mom, I believe, and she was the only person I knew. So yeah, so Three of Baskets is here when I split the deck, and Three of Baskets is celebration. So I think Spirit is telling you that they're happy and proud of you, and they're celebrating you right now. Like that description just said, you're never alone. The divine is ever present in your life. And we also have Two of Coins, which is the Two of Pentacles. And Two of Pentacles to me normally mean protection, and it could relate to the Fool card, because, you know, a juggler, and, you know, they're juggling things. So yeah, and I'm just gonna pull one more. That one might come out. Two came out. So Hierophant. Remember I said earlier, you guys are teachers, so you're probably gonna teach people how to heal certain issues that I spoke about earlier today, and hopefully you're good at that and willing to, and don't let anything stop you from doing that if that's what you feel called to do. Especially, if you're called to to be a foster mother and everything like that. Like, we need people like you, especially if you want to be a foster mother, not for the money, and you want to be the foster mother just to help these kids who need a home. And some of us lose our homes for reasons that are not our fault. We're left alone. That was not our fault. My mom didn't get the help that she needed. She lost her job, we lost our home, and I was taken from my mom. So, and there's still mysteries around that as well. But I'm waiting on God to give me those exact messages as well. He gave me that message, and he helped let me hold on and remember that message for a long time. So, but yes, this is the Hierophant, Bishop C.H. Mason. So your ancestors are here telling you, like, you better teach our history, you better teach. And I spoke about histories and traditions earlier, so they're here. And then last but not least, it's upside down, so that means they want you to do that, like right now, like yesterday. But last but not least, the Five of Sticks. Ooh, Five of Sticks. I look at that card as envy and jealousy and people fighting you and being mean to you, haters, all of that. And you see, look at this picture. She mad because these people in the background are talking about her, and she thinking of how she about to get them back. And then in a normal Rider-Waite tarot deck, it's 5 people fighting each other, So, but this is upside down. This is upright. You don't need to fight anymore. You need to let go. You need to forgive. You need to heal. You need to respect others, as we said earlier. And, that's what your ancestors are telling you to do. Alrighty, so I hope that all made sense. Sorry if it was jumbled. But I have one more card, and this is the card from the crystal. So it's upside down towards me, so to do it there. So it is Justice, upside down, which means justice is already here. You being paid back your karma. Things are going to be balanced. The scales are going to be balanced. Your masculinity and your femininity is going to be balanced, healed, restored, and rebirth. All of that we spoke about earlier as well. See, it is all coming together. So I hope that you loved this message. I loved it. I'm glad that I was able to be trusted to deliver this message to you. And thank you everybody for coming in and cameoing, and all you spirits, ancestors, ascended masters, all the other creatures from every dimension. Thank you so much for making a cameo and being here with us today, showing us we are not alone. And I hope that all of you guys have a blessed day. And thank your higher power, my higher power, your higher self, everybody who delivered these messages to you. My mom, thank you, Mom, for coming in today and showing me you're not that far away from me. And I thank you, everybody, God's source, for getting us to this point that we're able to realize this. All right, bye-bye. Sorry it's so long too. Welcome to your reading, those who chose the Pakistani Tower. Feel some healing coming in. Alright, so we're just gonna get started. I chose 3 tarot cards across the across the decks, all 4 decks, to get us a clear collective message and what aspect this pal plays in that collective message. So the first card I have is the 6 of Wands, upside down. The 7 of Swords, upright. And the 7 of Cups, upside down. Or reversed. Alright. Excuse me, because I had to take some time to get the messages from this pal. Because when I pulled out the 6 of Wands, I heard victory. But then I saw the Seven of Swords. And normally there's a negative connotation with the Seven of Swords. And it's upside down to you. I mean, well, it's upright to you, but upside down to me, I see this swan, or you could say it's a dragon. I don't know if you can see that, but the beak, body, and then the wings, and that's upside down. But you guys have it upright. And this, and I thought of dragon because it looks like, let me show you again. It looks like the tail or the body is wrapped around this man's body, you know? So normally dragons are depicted as, you know, that type of things because they're part of the reptilian family. Sorry, I'm shaking the table. But they're part of the reptilian family. They're like the bigger reptiles, and you know, they can fly and blow fire and stuff like that. And that's why it gave me a conflicting message, because dragons, even though they can do all those things, they aren't out to hurt us. They're just offending themselves. And when I see the victory card upside down, it means that you have victory. And I'm thinking that these two cards relate together is because someone tried to hurt you. Someone tried to suck the life out of you. And it's almost like a snake. You know how the snake coils around its prey and squeezes the mess out of them? That's what it looks like to me. And the sword is going in between this person's eyes. And what they're saying, what I'm getting from Spirit is that you've conquered that dragon. You've conquered what was sent to destroy you. But you also inherited those traits that the enemy tried to use to destroy you. So it's almost like in the Bible where they would conquer land, and God says, okay, you get all the stuff that from the people, take some of the stuff, throw some of this stuff away, but take this stuff for yourselves. You know, don't use this certain treasure, but use these treasures. That's what it's making me feel like. And that's what the Seven of Swords depicts. It's like somebody's taking something and trying not to be seen, and you know. But in this depiction on these cards, I love these cards now, it looks like the person who tried to steal has been caught. But if we're going back to the Bible reference, when they've been caught, it's because the thing wasn't theirs in the first place. So that's why God, Holy Spirit, the higher power, our source, told us to collect those things because they were ours at first. And the people who got them, they overpowered us and ruled us by stealing them. And it's reminding me of the Native American tribes again. I spoke about it in another pile. So the Native American ancestors are here. So if you're Native American, this oh my goodness, this, what's the call, is for you. This message is for you. Oh, sorry, I'm getting so much messages right now. Okay, so they also brought me to think about the 6 and the 7. 6 and 7 make 13. And 13 is normally like people associated with a negative connotation, like the 7 of Swords is a negative connotation, but it depends on where you're standing at, what side you're standing on. And 13 is an oddball number, and it's normally negative, has a negative connotation, like Friday the 13th and all this type of stuff. But I like to think of 13 as karma. And 13 adds up to the number 4. So that's stability, being made whole again. The foundation has been restored. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, these people, the people, when you conquered these lands, they got back what was stolen from them. And then Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups also has a negative connotation, which is why I'm so happy it is upside down. Because Seven of Cups is depending on what you're looking at it as, these conquerors, we're going to stay with this story. The conquerors normally get things that are valuable, and either they take them or they're able to build more on top of that because they have the means necessary to get that. But once someone comes back and gets and reclaims their territory and reclaims their things and the possessions, they don't have that anymore. So I was thinking about with this Seven of Cups being in reverse, because like the Seven of Cups in the Rider-Waite deck, Rider-Waite Coleman Smith deck. Hi, Pamela Coleman Smith. she created the pictures on the Rider-Waite deck, but she doesn't get that much reverence or glory. So thank you, Pamela Coleman Smith, for coming here today to remind me of that. But in our normal depiction, it has and in one of the cups it actually has a dragon, if I'm not mistaken, in a castle and all this type of stuff. So it's interesting that I actually saw this just now. I didn't see this before I made the reading, even though I pulled these cards already. I didn't see this already. I just saw this when I pulled the cards down. So in one of the cups it has a dragon, another cup it has a castle, one cup it has a man. And to me, that card represents the reason why it has such negative connotation in it is because there's so many choices and options, but all those options aren't going to bring you satisfaction. And that's why in the Eight of Cups, which comes after the Seven of Cups, they're walking away. They're walking away like, I'm not satisfied. Like that's my depiction, that's my understanding and interpretation of it. And that's why they say the Seven of Cups represents confusion, faulty foundation. It's because it's not being satisfied. And I'm glad it's upside down, because to me, upside down means you conquered that. You're not in a stage of being unsatisfied, or you're not comfortable anymore being unsatisfied. You are getting to the point where you're not accepting anything less but victory. You're a victor. Even those who try to steal and kill and destroy you, you're a victor. And that karma message that I got, the 6 and the 7, it's coming to that Seven of Cups. It's like those Seven of Cups is not going to be the regular Seven of Cups you normally get. Those regular cups are going to have foundation. They're going to have things that you actually want and will be satisfied for. That's what I'm getting from that. And it goes back to the leveling up message that this whole reading is about. This whole reading is about how Source is going to help you level up. Get to the next level. Get to the place where you're chasing after your passion, your dream, your vision, your mission. Not because somebody told you to. Not because somebody said you should do this, or said like, oh, that's okay for you, but because God, your source, your higher power believes that for you. So that's what I'm getting from that. Sorry I took so long talking about these cards, but I had to say what God is telling me. I believe in God, so I may be just referring to him as God from now on. Okay. So the next part of the reading I have is Ascension cards. We're about leveling up. So we ascending. So I have only a few cards, so I may just read them out the book. I don't know. But the first card I have in the Ascension deck, it has symbolism. It has Reiki in it. It has different cultures, the planets, the asteroids, the zodiac signs. It has that type of thing. So these are the cards that Spirit told me to share with you guys. The first one I have is Cho-Ku-Ri. And this is part of Reiki. If you're familiar with Reiki, or maybe Source is telling you that you're a teacher, a Reiki teacher or a healer, The Ankh, we're all familiar, well, most of us may be familiar with that. And our Egyptian ancestors just keep coming up here because the Ankh is closely related to the Egyptian, and they're upside down. So, and then Libra. That's why I said justice earlier, and that's why I said karma, because Libra is all about justice. Karma is related to justice, karma, the balance of the scales being restored, all of that. So, thank you for making that all connect. All right, so I'm gonna read the book out. Read out of the book of this one because it's the. Maybe I'll do all three. Let's see. Okay, I think I have enough time. I'm trying not to make it so long, because my other ones were so long, and I'm trying, but I feel like this is what they want me to do. So, okay. And I'm learning this book too. So I'm gonna start with Libra because it opened up to Libra. So. This is for me and you. Okay, the symbol of Libra is the scales. Its traditional dates are September 23rd to October 22nd, with the 13th zodiac incorporated. Its new dates are October 30th to November 23rd. I still got more. See, 13. So I still got more reading to do about that 13 zodiac sign. I know a little bit about it. But I hate how it's changing the dates. But, we got to kind of flow with it because we flow with all of this thus far. A lot of the stuff that we believe in now didn't start off that way. So, but sorry, I don't know that much about the 13th zodiac sign. Maybe I should read about it right now, but we're gonna move forward. So Libra is the cardinal air sign, but the 13 really stuck out to me on those other cards, so I think they do want me to read about it. Bear with me, please. Thank you. All right, so Libra is the cardinal air sign ruled by Venus and represents balance. As I said earlier, justice, truth, and beauty. Beautiful. Okay, so all air signs have in common the desire for freedom, and all cardinal signs initiate. So, as we were even thinking about earlier, like new things are happening, new leaves are being torn, like new perspectives are being viewed. So that's going in. So when Libra appears, balance and justice are being called to action. Does the situation require rectification? Are all areas of your environment balanced? You have the ability to bring both, including the illumination of truth, to the situation. Refer to the Venus air cards for additional clarification and information. Right. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to do the 13 zodiac sign. Because I think it's interesting. I read about it a long time ago. Not a long time ago, but I didn't comprehend that well. So this is a good thing to review. The symbol of Ouroboros, that's the 13th zodiac sign, is the snake devouring its tail. Didn't I mention that earlier with that Seven of Swords card? Oh my goodness. Representing infinity and totality. This sign is often referred to alternatively as Ophiuchus. That's what I'm going to say. It's Ophiuchus. The snake hunter. Incorporated, did not say that though. We conquered that and we inherited those gifts. Okay. Incorporated as the 13th zodiac, its dates are from November 29th to December 17th. Ouroboros is the spirit sign ruled by Chiron and Jupiter and represents unity, magnetism, cleverness, spiritness, flamboyance. When Ouroboros appears, you're being asked to expand your horizons and explore the many facets of the super consciousness. And that's what that Seven of Cups card was saying, like expanding your horizons, not being settled. Not being settled with just anything, not settling for any less than what a strong foundation is. Super consciousness. Yeah, Seven of Cups even rules the subconscious as well. It's ruled by Neptune and Pisces, I believe. But yeah, so it's thank you for bearing with me, y'all. Engage in an activity that nourishes the spirit. What new adventures await? Refer to the Jupiter Spirit cards for additional clarification and information. And in another pile, I didn't read the cards because there were so many, but Jupiter was in that other pile too. So if you end up picking that pile, then this message was really for you too. If you pick more than one pile. All right, so I'm not gonna read the inversion because we barely learning about the regular. What's it called? So the Ankh is next. The Ankh. The Ankh is a powerful symbol of life and strength that is often carried as a talisman of good health and vitality, granting strength to its wearer. Many of the ancient Egyptian deities are depicted wearing or carrying the Ankh. I told y'all the Egyptians are here. Our Egyptian ancestors, hey. When the Ankh appears in your reading, you're being reminded to rejoice in the current life and to look at the situation not as negative distraction, but rather as a lesson for you in reaching your goals. What about this situation has taken away your own personal power? Why have you allowed your own life force and vital energy to be compromised? The Ankh reminds you that you have the power to shape and change your own world, and can do so if you set your mind to it. When the Ankh appears or falls inverted, because that's why I'm reading it upside down, the reverse meaning, because it's inverted. It refers to overindulgence or overcompensation. Are you allowing the situation to consume you while other facets fall apart? The inversions to remind you to balance yourself, and then reread the message of the upright Ankh. I'm keep going back to that Seven of Cups card, but it's upside down, so that's probably what's happened. Like we've overcome the problem of overindulging, and that's why I don't really take reversals as everybody else do. I just read it because it's probably something to be learned. That's why they say read the upright again, because if you feel like you've done that or overcome it, like you come to the part where you already balance yourself and you're upright. So that's why I always say it's overcoming. I don't think it's a negative connotation, and maybe you got to the point where you were unbalanced, and now the Ankh is here to say, like, you have restored that balance. That's what I want to say, because the Libra is here and it's here upright, so it has to be that. But anyway, that's my opinion. All right, so Chukuri, the reading symbol. I thought I read that. I don't like how they organize these symbols and stuff in here. Hey, Rob. Okay, that's the first symbol, is it? Yeah, it is. Okay. The first symbol, and it's upside down. And they don't have inverted meanings. None of the Rican symbols cards have inverted readings. So that's why you gotta create your own reversal meaning. At least that's why I do it, because if I'm relying on them to tell me what my reversal meaning, I probably won't get the answer. Anyway, considered to be the first base symbol in Reiki work. Reiki, however you want to pronounce it. Chokuri is also referred to as the power symbol. See, we're restoring the power. This is where the victory card was too, see? It is a symbol given in the first degree level of Reiki. So it's different levels. I believe it's 3 or 2 levels of Reiki. Translated, it means roughly, put all the powers of the universe here. Universe, hey universe. The universe here. Okay, it is most often drawn by the practitioner's own hand on each of his or her palms before performing a treatment. So you could try to do this if you feel like you connect to Reiki. Chokuri array resonates strength and endurance simply by being spoken. When its energy appears in your reading, you are being asked to focus and maintain your own personal power in order to unblock the obstacles that currently stand in your way. And then we read, like, where are you giving your own power away? In one of these symbols, I believe it's saying. But okay, sorry. Remember that obstacles are necessary in order for us to learn, grow, and develop. Chokuri, Ray. I don't know. Sorry. Energy as a power symbol can assist on the physical level by helping you seize your own inner strength and maintain it to push forward, endure, and ultimately break through the blockages of the mundane. That's powerful. That's so powerful. Okay. Hope that made sense. And thank you again for being with me. I normally don't read all of them unless it's small. And I think 3 is small enough. We really read 4 though. Sorry. All right, so we have crystals. Some people don't believe in the healing of crystals, but I believe they provide healing, empowerment, encouragement, self and personal empower. Reiki, and sometimes in Reiki they use crystals on certain parts of a person's body. So this is tying in. All right, so I have a lot of them because I just chose them based on what messages I thought I was getting in each of the piles. So, and I just used the whole deck because I think that's what Spirit was telling me. So bear with me. I'm gonna try to go through these fast, so it won't be too long as well. And we got one more part of the reading, and then I'm gonna be done. So thank you again. Thank you. I'm gonna keep on saying thank you because I know it's so much to continue to stay in one place and watch a person for a certain amount of time. So thank you. Okay, so we have Black Obsidian, the Shadow. Reiki healing. Rhodochrosite, upside down, acceptance. So you've already accepted that you have a shadow part of your being. I want to say. Shit, it's probably me too. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, rose quartz, inner child. And inner child, the acceptance, they all relate because, and the shadow and the inner child all relate because sometimes when your shadow is acting out, it's really your inner child screaming. At least that's what I like to think of it as. Look at the pink, that's so beautiful. And then Black Obsidian, it's a really powerful stone for protection and healing and banishing energy. So, speaking of healing, malachite, healing, green, heart, pink, love, all of that. Responding. Red jasper, healthy boundaries. And that's upside down. Healing was upside down too, so you've already overcome healing. You've already been through the healing. Reiki healing. All the healing necessary, I would say. Sorry, I'm trying to put them all here, and I probably won't be able to fit them all, but at least you've seen them. I don't want it to be. Sorry. Trying to make it not be so much of a glare, but hopefully that's better. So I need the light until my natural light comes out a lot. Healthy boundaries. So you've established, or you're working on establishing healthy boundaries. Red Jasper. Kunzite. Self-love. Going over the shadow. Going right to it. Healing. Scosolite. Peace. Healing. That's going back to the Reiki. Or even justice. I mean, Libra, we were thinking about earlier. I'm speaking about earlier. Those 7 of Cups upside down. Could you being restored? Victory. The 6 of Wands. Boji stones. Boji stones are so healing. Balance. Libra again. Tanzanite. Upside down. Clarity. So you receive clarity, or you're getting it right now. Agate. A lot of your stuff is upside down, which is so good. Healthy body. Body. Reiki. I almost want to put it over there, but I'm going to just put it right there. And clear quartz. Purification. So yeah, it was upside down too. I'm going to show it up right. Hematite. Ooh. Hematite is another Egyptian stone. It's connected with the god Anubis, which I believe is Seth's son and not Osiris's son. I mean, stepson, or son. People think that's Osiris' son, but I think it's Seth's son and Isis and Osiris's nephew. So he's here. Egyptian connection is here again. The Ankh, grounding. See, balance. Thought about that. And that's upright. See, so maybe we are working on balance right now. The next one we have is Brazilian night. Flexibility. And Brazilians, you notice how Brazilians, if you're familiar with the Brazilian people, they're kind of dark. They're dark skinned, and I believe that some of that is from different parts of even Africa. Some of those people are from different parts of Africa, different parts of Native America or North America. People who have more melanated skin. I think that's why they have melanated skin. Dominican Republicans too, I think. So that's about flexibility. And that was upside down. I'm holding it up right. So you're working on being flexible, maybe with your inner child. It's under inner child balance. Being flexible, we're restoring balance. Going with the flow of what God is providing you with, source is providing you with. That was upright. Okay, calcite, relaxation. Orange, this orange pinkish. That's beautiful, huh? Calcite is really about, empowering yourself and feeling beautiful. So that's probably why they say it relates to relaxation. But also justice was, Libra was talking about justice and beauty. And even the Ankh is related to balance and relaxation, peace. Last but not least, Diopetes. It's upside down, show it up right. But Diopetes is about heart healing. Healing. So this Reiki power is cool. I like y'all. Y'all working on healing yourselves. Y'all not letting nothing take over you. So those are the crystals. You can probably look into buying them, or looking them up, looking more into their meaning and what they have to say to you. All right. So source is our ancestor. So what would this ancestor or source reading be without hearing from source directly? So, and you have the most cards, I think, for source messages or ancestor. So the first one we have is balance yourself. That goes with the message. Balance yourself. And that was upside down. So it's probably you worked on. I'm gonna put it over here. I don't know why. I think I started these cards this way. Okay, hopefully that works. And that represents the direction, growth, and life stages. Like I said earlier with those 3 tarot cards, you know, we've inherited gifts. You know, we have victory, resurrection, we're being restored, being redirected, growing on solid foundation now. Treat your body well. Wait, was it like this? It was upright. So treat your body well. Exercise, meditate, and massage Reiki all over again. Respect your physical body. So yeah, we got some healing to do. And that was upside down. Oh, I'm gonna move that out the camera a little bit, just so I can. No. Okay, just so I can. Oh, can I fit it? Okay, so the last one we have is move your body, and that was upright. So yeah, upside down, upright. I'm sorry, respect your physical body is rejuvenate, relax, and detox. But that's upside down, so you probably already done that. Treat your body well, and may have gone with the relaxation crystal we saw earlier. Then move your body, dance, breathe, and flow. Go with the flow. Go with what divine is telling you. Alrighty. So the last but not least is our last ancestor message, and I'm gonna read that out the book. I'm gonna show it first though. So that's upside down. A butterfly again. Butterfly rejuvenation. Look at this lady. I'm gonna put it up right. Look at her body. Okay, it's called the Anticana, child of the light. You're divine's child. Never alone. Never alone. Bringing you healing, restoration, prosperity. So it was upside down. So you're already a child of the light. We had an inner child card earlier too. So I'm gonna put it right there. All right. I'm gonna pull some tarot cards, whatever comes out. This to clarify these cards right here. So just don't think Spirit has those to say. I like to take the cards that fall out, but I'm gonna start with the 10 of Sticks, which is the 10 of Wands, which was on the bottom of the deck. And I'm gonna just take those cards that fell out. And I believe the 10 of Sticks is telling us we're out of working hard, out of all the burdens. Let flow happen. Move your body, like it says, flow. Let divine come in here and balance you, restore you, give you peace. And when I split the deck, I have Miss Robinson, who is the devil. It's the devil. And when I read about this story, it was an interesting story because I don't know if I'm gonna get, punished for this, but God doesn't punish us, He redirects us. But I think the devil gets a bad name, a bad rep, and in this story, it's about, a lady who had a group of people were talking about her or something, and And one lady, one of the ladies who were talking about her, she had a son, and then her and Miss Robinson had an altercation, a verbal altercation, and after that, like Miss Robinson said something as if like, you better watch out, and then ultimately the lady who she was in an altercation with, her son passed away. And then so it was said that, Miss Robinson had something to do with her son passing away. And that's why I opened it with saying the devil gets a bad rep, because sometimes things don't happen by the person who was accused of that, because anything could have happened to her son, and I think even in the story, I'm not remembering all of it correctly, but that's the premise of the story. But even in the story, what happened to the son, it had nothing to do with Miss Robinson. So I think that's why they have her on here as the devil, because sometimes the devil is not to be to blame of some of the bad things that happen to us. So that's my verdict on that, or view on that. And then we have Caroline as well. I just look at what God kind of makes me split the deck on, and I show those cards, because sometimes those messages are here. The Wheel of Fortune. And Wheel of Fortune deals with karma, fate, destiny. And this is what this reading is about. Fate, karma, destiny, peace, rebalance, restoring. And I think that's why you want us to see that card. So let me pull out the rest, and then I'm done with your reading. Okay. So we have the Mother of Coins. So I'll put it right there. Queen of Pentacles upside down. So your pentacles are coming soon, Queen or King. Three of Baskets, celebration upside down. Spirit is celebrating you. Spirit is happy for you. Four of Knives upside down. Rest and rejuvenation. And we saw that in one of these things. I want to say, yeah, right here. So I'm gonna just say here. Balance yourself. This don't this look like oil? Maybe that's why. Judgment, them bones. And that's why I like to put the cards back in there and see what comes out, because I got this in another card, another pile. So if you pick that pile, you probably see the same card. Judgment. Judgment relates to justice. So that's probably why I needed to take all of these. 9, wish fulfillment. 9 of Baskets. 9 of Cups. So you remember we saw 7 of Cups earlier. So that's probably why it was upside down, because we're moving out the 7 of Cups, and we went all the way to 9 of Cups. We got 9 of Cups here. Hey. And then last but not least, Father of Sticks, which is the Father of Wands, King of Wands. We got a Queen and a King here. So our Mother and Father, our source is here. And they are bringing us power, rejuvenation, restoration, balance, karma, good karma, peace, joy, love, support, healing. And I thank them for that. I thank them for that. Oh, so did I read? Oh no, I didn't. Sorry, I'm so sorry. So I was supposed to read the description of this book, and then I'm gonna be done. Sorry. Supposed to read that before I pull up the last cards. Sorry. So Intikana, just call it that. Child of the light. There is a divine light that does not cast a shadow, nor does it cast judgment. That's why judgment is upside down. And it was upside down in the other reading too. So that's why I don't think it's good to always do like clarify or do it from another after you already pulled cards and you left them there, because you'll probably get the same messages, and then they're supposed to be meant for the other messages. So yeah, there's a divine light that does not cast a shadow, and we Heard about shadow earlier. Nor does it cast judgment, even though it reveals truth, balance. A truth that is sometimes hard to acknowledge and requires that we change our ways. True divine light is healing. It is unifying. It brings hope and illumines the way. Other sorts of light exist on this planet that are not so pure nor so helpful. Those sort of light may appear stunningly bright, yet in effect create separation and increase ego. You can recognize genuine divine presence not only by how dazzling it may appear at first, but by your devotion to that divine light evokes in your heart and in your world. Hope that makes sense, and I hope you were able to get some messages from that. I love that. It's showing us that we are children of God, children of our source, our higher power, and reminding us that they would never leave or forsake us. That's what I got from that. And last but not least, when you chose your crystal, the Pakistani crystal, there was a card under it. So I'm going to reveal that card. And it was the Knight of Pentacles. Upright. And I want to say the Knight of Pentacles, it's one of the slowest moving cards in tarot. And he moves so slow, not because he doesn't want to get there, but because he wants to make sure that everything is right. Everything is delivered how it's supposed to be delivered. So maybe this is even speaking to myself, like I wanted to get through this message kind of fast and quickly because my other messages kept going long, but if I want to do it right, I have to take my time. So maybe he's speaking to me. So thank you again so much for these messages. Thank you, God, everybody, all our ancestors, angels, spirit guides who came in and spoke to us and made a cameo into this reading and gave us the messages as well. I thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to me and hear what I have to say about the spirit world, the sacred world, our higher self, our higher power, our source. Thank you. Thank you again. And I love you so much. I love the divine. I love all of what he created us to be. They created us to be. And I hope that you feel the same way. Have a great, blessed day, and I'm wishing many blessings to you and your family. Bye. Hi, Pal 4. Last but not least, welcome to your reading. You are the ones that chose the beautiful unicorn. And it's Epidote again. Alright, so we're going to start off with tarot cards that I picked to represent the whole collective reading for all 4 pals to see what part of the journey or collective message this pal plays. This is a tribe, so the 4th pal is the tribe, the Epidote tribe, whatever you want to call it. But so I'm going to start off by reading the tarot and seeing what type of message overflows. The overall message of this whole reading as a whole. Okay, so the first we have is the Knight of Swords. I love when I see that card because I believe it is Jesus. I think the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords is the mother and the father, and then the Knight of Swords is the son. Then the Page of Swords is maybe even the sister that we don't know about. So, yeah, so I believe Yeshua is here. I call him Yeshua. You guys may refer to him as Jesus or whatever tradition you believe in when it comes to the son of the father and the mother. So, that one was upright. So, show it to you upright. Then we have 3 of Wands, and it's upside down, which means, and then 3 of Wands normally means planning, waiting on your ships to come in. You see them in the water in the normal Rider-Waite Coleman-Smith deck. You know, I give reverence to Pamela Coleman-Smith because she created the pictures that are on the deck. She doesn't get enough recognition, but I'm here to give it to her. Thank you again for coming here, Pamela Coleman-Smith. You know, and I hope that we give her more glory later on or in the future, in the near future. So yeah, waiting on the ships to come in, and this flows with the message because we're waiting on our new beginnings. We're going after our goals. We're out of the planning stage, so that's why it's upright. Upside down. And I always think reversals don't mean negative. I think they mean that you conquered it, or you're moving out of it and you're going to the next thing. And I see these horns, which means initiation. So, which represents the ram. Ram represents Aries, which normally means initiation. It's the first sign of the zodiac, which means it's a carnal sign, but it also is. It starts off everything. It's the spirit of I am, and Jesus is a part of I am. So that's relating. I am is God, source, you even. And then last but not least, we have 10 of Wands. Ooh. And I'm so happy it's upside down because 10 of Wands is a burdensome, hard-working card. And we're here today in this reading to hear from Source and to see how we can make all our dreams come true, but understand and accept the help that is being offered and given to us. And that's what this reading is about, how we're leveling up and how we're accepting this help. We're accepting it. So that's what I get from that. And as a whole, these cards are telling me that, see, Yeshua was sent to deliver the world from sin as depicted in the Bible, if that's what you believe in. And I'm pretty sure there's another figure in any other book of literature that you represent, that represents the word for you. And Yeshua, he was the only performer of miracles. Like, even these people who claim that they were a part of the church, I don't know why it's like that, hopefully, okay. They were part of the church. They couldn't perform miraculous, extravagant miracles like Yeshua did. And I'm thankful that he's made a cameo in this reading. Thank you for all that he's done for us, all his sacrifice, and all his spirit, all his love, compassion, affection for us as our brother, our father even, you know, because some of us are descendant of Yeshua. No, just because he died, his lineage did not stop. He even had brothers and sisters, so how could his lineage stop? You know, and I believe also he had children, but he hid them because he knew, he was aware of what either a child he had or children, multiple children. But he was aware of what they were going to do to him, so he didn't want that to happen to his child or his children. So he hid them and, you know, made it seem like he didn't have any children. But, and we would say in this day and age, that was a deadbeat dad, you know, who wasn't in his child's life. But I think it was for their protection so that the lineage could continue to go, you know, and that's why we relate and connect to him so much now, because we are a part of that lineage. Well, that's my belief, and that's my theory, and that's the message I believe I received from our Father, our Source, Holy Spirit, the Mother. I believe I received that message. That was a cool and powerful meditation when I received that epiphany, as we would call it today, but I believe it was a message that was directed at me, a download. Okay, so yeah, so he is here. He is bringing in your ships. No more waiting. The sun even sticks out to me on this card with the horns. It's coming. Then there's fire, destruction. And I believe that represents the sin that he died for, or that we were living in, or they were living in, that society was living in during his time. That is over. This is upside down. Okay, so as all these cards work together, I'm receiving the message of the burning bush again on this card. Look, that means Source is speaking to us. The fire, the flame, and then this looks like a bird and a squirrel together to me. I don't know though, but however your third eye whatever your third eye is telling you, I believe. And then birds, they represent messages. The dove, he was sent down from heaven to deliver before God spoke through the sky. And this could even be God speaking through the sky when he said, "This is my son who I am well pleased with. This is my son who I'm well pleased with." And this could even be John. John was performing all the baptism. Hi, John. But he was about to baptize Jesus, and John was like, "What? You want me to do that? I should be kissing your feet. You should be baptizing me. Who am I? You're the Son of Man." And like I said earlier, this reminded me of the burning bush, which was Moses. Moses also questioned God. I was like, wait, nah, I can't even speak that well. I stutter. God was like, nah, I want you to deliver my children from Egypt. I want you to take them from, rescue them from slavery, and deliver them across the Red Sea. I give you a staff. This could even be the staff that would turn into whatever you needed it to turn into. Turned into a snake, turned into something else. That is magic, going back to Jesus. So the Source is speaking here. They're here to deliver your magic. What were you created for? What were you sent here to do and deliver to the people? What is your mission? What is your magical superpower? It's here. And this is also reminding me of the womb. The womb is where all creation is. Fire represents creation, initiation, creativity as well. So, ooh, that's already powerful. I don't know if you think so, but I do. Yeah, something that, I don't know. I saw something on my camera that I'm not sure what it means, but we're gonna keep moving. I don't know if my camera's telling me this is how much I have left, but we're gonna keep moving. All right. So, whoa. Okay. So since this message is about ascension and leveling up, how we're going to go after our goals and what help Spirit, the Source, is sending us, I'm taking some symbolism from the Ascension deck that I have. And the Ascension deck has symbolism, has zodiac signs, planets, shapes even, Reiki, so bear with me. It's a lot in this pile, I had already pre-shuffled this, and this is what Spirit gave me for this pile, so please bear with me. I did read some of the descriptions out of the the piles that had smaller amounts of cards, but I don't think I can do that here because I don't want it to be super long. Yeah, all my other readings are all long, and I did not want that to happen, but I also didn't want to rush over it. I wanted to give these messages as clear as possible, provide you with much clarity and support that you need on your journey, in your life path, finding your life purpose and mission. So let's get started. I'm just gonna read probably a few of them that even I probably don't know about, and then I think will be useful for you to know about. So the first one we have is the Triskel. And the Triskel is, and it's upright. So the Triskel is these three. Let me put this down. Okay, so these three. Okay, so these three swirls normally represent karma. You know, like the swirl means what goes around comes back around. And these three swirls are really the three aspects of the goddess. So to me, Source is both God and the goddess, because to create, you need a man and a woman. You know, so I believe in God, the goddess, as a mother and a father, a female and a male, balancing both energies to create one. Because think about how we make babies now. It's both men and female. You know, like it comes from a woman out the womb. So I believe this in the middle, where all these three ropes or swirls meet. That's the womb, woman, or the overall product, I should say. And the three aspects of the goddess are the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And I like to think of them as the three different stages of life we go through, because we start off with providing service. We're kids, doing what we have to do to get to the point of responsibility, which comes with the mother, or if you're a male, your father, and that aspect, and that's a different portal, that's a different level, of being able to deliver what you have to deliver to the world. And when you have a baby, when you're moved to a different stage, comes different responsibility. And then the crone, the crone is the elder of the group. So I don't want to say the mother or the father, it's the elder of the group. And the crone comes with a lot of wisdom, and that's why we give so much respect to our elders. And and we think they're so wise, because they've reached the stage of becoming a crone and being able to produce mothers and maidens, but also guide them and teach them the ways, and teach them how to not make the same mistakes they made. So that's what I'm thinking about with this. So I may not read this one. All right, the Malkuth. Malkuth is a part of the Tree of Life, and the Tree of Life, I mentioned in another pile, another aspect of the Tree of Life came in it. The Tree of Life is, I like to look at it as the human body of us all. We all play a part, a role in society, and that's what our body does. All the different parts of our body have different functions, different jobs to complete. And Malkuth is, I want to say it's the bottom of the tree, but in the Tree of Life, the bottom and the top are just as powerful. Like all the parts in our body, they say they're different purpose or jobs, so it shouldn't be weighed or rated or judged in different manners. The octagram, which has 8, is a star with 8 points. And I believe the grams, the stars start at 5 and they work their way up. And it's just like how we were saying with the Triskel. There were the Triskel. Sorry if I'm butchering that name. But with the Triskel, it's levels. At least that's what I think. It's different aspects. And with the truth scale, it's like it's anything in the three. Like it's a past, present, future, but it really relates to the mother, the maiden mother and Chrome. But it's like the past, present, future. You know, you learn more as you go forward with time. You know, beginning, middle, and last. You know, it just is a different level, and I'm glad it came out because that's what this is about, leveling up. You know, the octagram is an interesting shape too. So maybe that will be something I read about. Oh, okay. So we have the hexagram. And that has 6 points on the star. So we're even at we're leveling up. We're beyond. Sorry, this was upright. We're leveling up. We're beyond the 5-star. You know, and maybe we can look at this as dimensions. You know, and we're in a 8th dimension and now 6th dimension. And then last but not least for the grams, that's, I thought it was nonogram. So we went from the 6th to the 8th to the 9th dimensions. You know, it's reminding me of the chakras again, you know, like, because we normally focus on the 7 chakras, but there's more chakras after the 7th chakra. It's even a chakra below the 1st chakra, you know, that we normally don't think about. Put that right there. Or that. Okay. So we have Venus. Venus is a mother of love, the planet of love. How you surround yourself with love, how you show love, beauty, pleasure. It could even be sex. You know. Ruled by the Empress card and the Justice card as well, or Libra card, sorry. Kether, Seraphim, another part of the tree of life. I know this is the top card. This is the top of the tree of life. So representing like the crown chakra in our body. And that's upside down, so you're receiving high enlightenment right now, high intelligence, high guidance, high spirit. Okay, so the next one we have is Caduceus, Caduceus, and that's a symbolism. I think it's a Greek symbolism, but you see the snakes. Snakes normally represent renewal, cleverness. You know how Eve got tricked by the snake. But it doesn't always mean a bad thing. It does, you know, how the snake sheds its own skin and, you know, grows it back. You know, and I learned also that a snake can live after its head has been cut off for a few hours. So that's interesting. It can bite you and poison you just as well. So watch out if you deal with snakes. But yeah, I think that's one of them I would read as well. Another tree of life. Yeah, spirit sources in this deck. It's like apparent here. So hard, I want to say it's one of the legs. It's either a leg or an arm of the tree of life. But we'll read that one too, or at least a little bit of it. I think this is 12 points. Dokagram, what would I say? And that's 12. Ascension is here. No more crying. And that was, actually, it was upside down. This is the only one that's upside down. So we're experiencing high levels of ascension right now. You on this reading, you picked a really good pile. All the piles are good and powerful. And if you feel drawn to another pile, please take a look at it because it may have a really good message for you. And then the last but not least, element of spirit. Told you, source is here. Spirit is here. The presence of the Lord is here. If you know that song, you should listen to it. If you don't, you should look it up. The presence of the Lord is here. It's by Byron Cage. That's what I heard. Presence of the Lord. And then we had Yeshua earlier, so he here. He here. They're here. They're here. All elements of spirit is here. Wherever you believe in. So, all right. So I'm gonna read. Like I said, I'm gonna read the Malkuth. I'm gonna just go down the line. I'm not gonna read all of them. Okay. Malkuth. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So. I'm glad both were here. Okay, so it is the bottom. I knew it was the ground. It was the ground. So Malkuth is it means kingdom. And kingdom normally, we think of kingdom as like the high at the top, but kingdom starts here and then we raise up, or we can go from the bottom to the top. So it's a flow of life, tree of life. So it's the 10th spear in the tree of life. While it appears at the bottom, it is actually considered the top of the tree of life. See? You're going from the bottom to the top, top to the bottom. But I believe it's just because it's a circle. It's like it all flows together. Malkuth also represents the realm of the earth. See? The kingdom starts here. A reflection of the realm of heaven, see? And the representation of the material plane of existence. So, be it like all the energies that we receive, the thoughts, the emotions, the actions, this is a spirit that allows tangibility out of the other spheres of emanations. So, it gives the physical earth its substance. When Malkuth appears in your cards, you are reminded that all things are a reflection of the divine and the grand design. So we're all a part of this grand plan. Why is the situation happening the way that it is? If you look at the situation from a higher consciousness, are there ties to other situations? All things have a plan. The Malkuth reminds you to be patient, for all is as it should be in the grand design. So be patient. And as we mentioned earlier, well, at least that's what I think. Yeshua, knew the grand plan, knew what was going to happen, so he prepared for it. So if you believe, and I'm going to do hard. See, I knew it was the foot. Okay, so, I thought it was a part of the leg, but it's the foot. So the hod that we received, I want to say it was right here. No, it's right here. Sorry. Hod. Its key word is glory. The sun, like we saw earlier, with the horns coming out the sun. It's the glory. It's the base or the foot of the left pillar of the 8th spear of the tree of life. 8th octagram. Nyx acts opposite and acts as the key to the energy. So Nyx is the opposite. So it's the right foot. If Hod is the left foot, Nyx is the right foot. It acts It acts as the key to energy being given to physical forms, as well as governing influence over intelligence, critical thinking, and reasoning. So, as we just read in Malkuth, you know, like giving physical form to things, where the kingdom starts, it hears. The kingdom starts here. It allows truth to be discovered by seeing through deception caused too much by emotions. So we read that earlier too. When the odd appears in your cards, you are being asked to approach your situation through reason, deduction, and response. Rather than being angered, you must look at the situation from all logical standpoints. Take a step back, look at the bigger picture. Don't be angry, be patient. All right, and Keither, I'm gonna read that because that's just as important. Keither, keyword crown, so it is at the top. It's the first spear of the tree of life, found at the top and referred to as the crown of the tree of life. It represents the creator or the divine and the energy out of which all things are created. Wow. You guys are so awesome. Whoever picked this cloud, you're awesome. Keither acts as a divider of light and dark, reflected in the next two following spears of the tree of life, which is Bana and Chakma. It is also a spear of compassion and represents thought beyond the mind's comprehension, especially that which we cannot see or imagine. So we don't see this coming, but it's here. When Keither appears in your reading, you are being told that the divine is always present and ready to aid you when you need help. What is this reading about? Okay, all right, sorry. Okay, all right. Have you asked for that help? Have y'all asked? Here it is. If so, have you paid attention to how that help is being presented? That's what I'm here for, but I can only do so much now. Separation is the key here. Distance yourself from the situation in order to see beyond it. We saw so many cards already that said see beyond. Look beyond it. So the next one I'm going to look at is Caduceus. And I think that's Kenny. Yeah. Alright. The Caduceus is often associated with the medical profession, being represented synonymously with the rod of Asclepius. Asclepius. In Greek, that's what I said. I knew it. It was Greek tradition. It was the staff carried by the god Hermes, the winged messenger. I mentioned Moses earlier. Hey, Moses. He here. The staff. Okay, when the Caduceus appears in a reading, it relates to the medical profession. Are you in the medical profession? Or have you been drawn towards the service profession? Are you a healer or a light worker? See, this is the light worker, pal. You being called. Do you feel the need to help others and don't know why? Me. That's me. Medicine is a generalized term that could refer to more than just physical health. This card is a catalyst to take action for yourself and others using your natural healing abilities. All right, you're being called, and you're going to be helped along the way. We already know that. But since this card is in reverse, I'm going to read the inversion, inverted meaning. When the Caduceus, I don't know how to say it, forgive me, card falls inverted, issues of health may be present. Oh, I'm sorry, sending you a virtual hug. Are you taking care of yourself and giving yourself the attention you need in order to be healthy, mentally, spiritually, and physically? Maybe it's spiritual healing you need. Maybe it's mental healing. Maybe it's not always physical, but I'm still sending you hugs. It reminds you to remember you are a patient and deserve healing too. So you're probably here as a part of that healing. This can also apply to the health of another close to you. So I'm sending all my prayers, good blessings along to you. And sorry. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'm gonna read the highest shape and the element of spirit, and then I'm done. Okay. So I'm pretty sure you guys know what Venus means and stuff. So I'm just read the highest of the. Come on, let me find it quickly. Hold on, I saw the element of spirit. Maybe I gotta see that first. Let's keep. I guess I don't know the element of spirit. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. As above, so below. I mentioned that in another power, so you'll probably resonate with that power if you pick that as well. As above, so below, the fifth element. So there's 4 elements of spirit: fire, water, air, earth, and then this is the 5th one. It combines the energies of the 4 other elements to provide enlightenment, insight, psychic ability, and connection with the higher self and the divine. So, hey, higher self, your higher self is here. Your higher self is telling you what you need to know right now. So pay attention. I'm just kidding. Okay. And that one's upside down too. So its color is purple. It represents the all and nothing, and it governs all other planets and elements. The 13th zodiac sign, Ouroboros, is also governed by the element of spirit. I read that in another pile. When this 5th element appears in your reading, you're asked to detach and approach situation from a removed standpoint. We need to see the higher perspective of everything. Do not allow the mundane and the physical to overly affect the work that you do. Remember that change is always a constant. Approaching in a disagreeable situation with this attitude will allow you to allow the knowledge to change it. So the guidance is here. When this card is inverted, you are lacking a governance of spirit in your life, which can lead to illness, disconnect, and depression. We read about the Caduceus earlier. Temper the elements of the physical realm with the light of spirit. The results may surprise you. We read about the physical realms here as well in Malkuth. Okay, let me find this diagram. Oh, there it is. Okay. Decagram. A powerful star symbol with its 12 facets. The dodecagram, represents the 12 traditional signs of the zodiac, the 12 Olympic gods and goddesses, completion and wholeness and ascendance. In Christianity, it represents the number of Jesus's disciples. See, Jesus was here, I told y'all. The dodecagram, that's what it is, okay. Dodecagram, in relation to the traditional zodiac, further divides the 12 zodiac signs into 4 subsections, detailing the natural elements of air, earth, water, and fire. Back to the element of spirit. When it appears in your reading, you're asked to seek balance in all endeavors. What has caused you to feel out of balance? The message here is very clear. Seek out and maintain balance in all facets of your life, from eating a balanced diet to getting a healthy amount of exercise to balancing work and play. You may be surprised how issue resolves themselves once you seek out and attain balance. And it's upside down, so I believe you've conquered what they're telling you to pay attention to, because that card has no inverted meaning. So hope all of that made sense. Thank you so much for bearing with me thus far, and I know that was long, but I'm almost done. So I have some crystals. I believe crystals provide healing, and we read about medical aspects to look out for. So it is appropriate to have these in the card. In this reading, and it's a lot of them. So I'm not gonna go through and read anything about them. I'm just going to go through them as they come. Hopefully some of the messages collide and, you understand what Spirit is trying to say to you, or higher power source is trying to say to us. So the first we have is lapid lazuli, upright, past life. So maybe you're being introduced to some of your past life gifts. Even we did mention psychic abilities earlier. Divine temple source, the master teacher card. So yeah, my candle just did something. So source is here. So then it's upside down, upright. It's the master teacher card. You're being taught by source. You're being taught by ascended master. Maybe you were ascended master in your past life. Herkimer diamond, dreams. Maybe you're receiving guidance in your dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. Write them down. I gotta listen to this myself, because I've been getting some interesting dreams that are very helpful and powerful that I remember, but I think I need to write them down so I won't ever forget them. But yeah, dreams, the diamond. And as I said earlier in another pile, like, see, crystals are a part of what a diamond is. Like, we like diamonds because they look good, but we may be attracted to diamonds because they provide some type of healing, like it caters to our endorphins, but it's probably more than just that. Selenite, spiritual awakening is upside down. So you've already been awakened. You're going through a spiritual awakening. Maybe you conquered that. Maybe it was a dark night of the soul that was so hard. I know those dark night of the souls are hard. And I like all this brown. Brown is normally grounding, but it also can represent higher elements. And look at all these crystals. They're like high type of crystals. Diopside, upside down, Mother Earth. See? And then we had Malkuth earlier. So Mother Earth is here. See, the mother on earth, and then the Father in the sky created this whole earth, and it's upside down. So they're here. You'll be receiving grounding information. Petrified wood. Oh, I love this. Petrified wood is so healing. It goes with the Mother Earth. It's part of earth, wood, trees, all of that, and it's upside down. Ancestors. Your ancestors are even probably trying to communicate with you with your dreams, help you through your spiritual awakening. Cuprite, rites of passage, upside down too. So another part of your spiritual awakening, and that's what making me think of culprit. And it's upside down, so there's no culprits anymore. There's no distractions or delays. Okay. Spirit quartz, music. Spirit is communicating to you through music. The source. Maybe some of your guidance is being received in music. See, it's under dreams. So, ancient wisdom crystal, another master teacher card, and it's about ancient wisdom. Your ancestors are here to give you wisdom. They're giving you wisdom, the divine wisdom. Shatakite, teacher. Yep, it's telling you you're a teacher. It came out after all these teacher cards and around teacher cards, so I'll put it here. Black tourmaline, protection. You receive protection and guidance when you share this wisdom, teach this wisdom. Flourites, learning. You got to that stage of learning, you're getting to work. Moonstones, cycles, the sun, moon, and stars. Moonstone cycles, everything goes in cycle. That Triskite we were looking at earlier, cycles, different things. Azurites, expanded awareness. Oh my goodness, yeah, this person is a teacher. Whoever I'm speaking to right now is a teacher. Last but not least, pre-night, trust. Trust the universe, trust source, trust your higher powers, trust yourself, your higher self, yourself, self. All right, so those are the crystals I have. Thank you again. I'm going to be saying thank you a lot because I'm so thankful that you guys are here with me. All right, so we can't hear from source without hearing from our ancestors, and your ancestors are all up in this reading. You have so many crystal ancestor related that are ancestor related. So yeah, and you know, source, goddess, they're our ancestors, they're our elders, so they're here. So the first one we have is nature spirits. That goes with it. Elves, fairies, rock formation. Okay. Tune in and connect. Higher power. You see that face there? That's the higher power. Non-verbal communication, intuition, messages, psychic abilities, all of that. That's here. And elves and fairies, you know, they're psychic people too. They're powerful beings. I don't think they get enough recognition. Notice the signs. Investigate symbols and nature spirits. It's all coming together. Nature, tune in, connect. And look at the Trisket right there. Triskel. I call it a Trisket. I must be hungry. But yeah, so we have those. And then last but not least, the Mayu. This reminded me of Yemaya, if you're familiar with Orishas. Mayu. Soma from the galactic heart. That's source all the way. Galactic. You have galactic beings on your team, not just your ancestors. You got galactic beings, archangels. Look at this face. That's why it's there. You got bigger beings beyond this galaxy. Put it right there. All right. So, last but not least, I'm going to pull some tarot cards to clarify these messages, and they haven't already been pulled, so I'm going to shuffle them and to get, you know, more messages from this, and you know, and then I'll be done. Okay, on the bottom of the deck we have the Empress upside down, and in this deck they call her the Big Queen. And Empress is surrounded by nature. We saw Venus earlier. She's ruled by Venus, you know, Mother Earth. She's the mother, you know, so I'm going to take that out. All right, let's see what other messages we get. Okay, Four of Baskets upside down. Four of Cups upside down. You're being appointed. Notice the signs. Spirit is communicating with you. They're communicating with you. You're answering the call. Sometimes when Four of Cups upright, it means that somebody's giving you something and you're not even paying attention to it, or you bored with what you're being presented with. See, he giving her a cake or something. No, a basket. It's upside down, so you're answering the call. You're on this reading, so you answer. Three of Baskets. I think all my pals have the same card. And it's upside down. Okay. All right. Three of Baskets. Spirit is celebrating you. And I think that's the last one I'm going to do. Then the last but not least, Four of Coins is on the bottom. His Spirit source is bringing stability to your life. Foundation. Love. And it ain't just, you know, you're going to get the materialism because the Pentacle is here. The Pentacle is here. So, all right. So, last but not least, I have the card. You know how you pick the crystals and there was a card under there, and I believe it was a message. So, I'm going to pull that out. And that is the Five of Pentacles upside down. See, I think the Pentacle with the 4 and 5, and then to the 6. The 5 is also always represented as like some type of financial trouble, you know, instability and stuff like that. The 4 was you were just stable, and then the 5, you know, but since it's upside down, like I said, it means you moving out of it. So that means divine is really helping you get out of material trouble. If you have financial burdens, if you have financial problems, it's gone. They're going to be gone, and divine is going to help you with that. So thank you again to all who've attended this reading. Thank you for bearing with me thus far. Thank you, angels, ancestors, spirit guides, our higher self, our source, for coming in and delivering this message and guidance. And thank you so much for all the help and support we've received thus far, and we're going to receive in the future. And I thank your higher power, if you have a different higher power than mine, but I believe in God. So if you believe in someone else, I thank your higher power for coming in, because I believe they were present as well, because they're never going to leave your side. And I'm wishing many blessings to your family, yourself, and so much love. And I hope that you receive, return that same feeling and those blessings as well back to me. Again, bye.